welcome to InCharge, where you'll get the news from the source. From those in charge in their organizations, leaders from different industries who are making an impact in the society today. I'm 𝐅𝐀𝐂𝐄𝐁𝐎𝐿, your host. Today we have with us His Excellency Malaysia Ambassador Datu Abdul Malik Melvin Castelino. Okay, Ambassador Malik, you have been here in the Philippines for a year and a half. How do you find it so far?
First and foremost, I must say that I'm enjoying every second of it. It's a country filled with so many warm, nice, friendly people. And everywhere I go, I feel very welcome. Not because of my position, but generally Filipino people are warm, and friendly and lovable. And I think that shows in how they interact and approach you. So for me, one of the greatest assets that Philippines has is its people. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I've been traveling all my life. I've been to many countries, but Philippines is special. I think that's why Malaysia and Philippines share so much sense of history and culture, and of course shared interest, because we have the same approach to life, and how we treat our friends and our family, which is warmth, friendliness, and then of course love. And I think, like I said, that's one of the greatest assets the Filipino has. And it comes from the heart, because in my many meetings with many of the communities around Philippines, I travel quite a bit, in Philippines. And I always felt that is something that I will always cherish. Even if I'm not here, that will always resonate with me, how Filipino people are such a special people that want to give and of course share their love and warmth to everyone that they meet.
Thank you so much for that, sir. But this year, Malaysia and the Philippines is actually celebrating the 67th diplomatic relationship. Can you enlighten our viewers with our history, like our friendship with Malaysia?
Malaysia, of course, Philippines shares a long myriad of history over the years. And of course, this is clearly resonated by the fact that we are from the same, I would say, archipelago, which is a Malay archipelago. And of course, over the years and centuries, this relationship has grown, and you can see many similarities between Malaysia and Philippines in the arts, the culture, the language, for instance, how you say Mesa. Here is Mesa, in Malaysia is Major, Salamat, for instance. So many of these words and of course the culture itself is something that is very similar. Of course, not to mention the food. When you look at the food in Philippines, some of the food using obe, for instance, we have it in Malaysia. Pansit, we have similar thing in Malaysia. We call it mee goreng.
We love mee goreng.
Mee goreng, yes. Even nasi lemak, there is a version of it here. And so I think this culture, history, and of course the connection between the Filipino people and Malaysia is close. And I think this is reflected, of course, in our celebrations this year. As you said, we are celebrating 60 years of Malaysia-Philippine relationship. And of course, we here in Philippines, the Embassy of Malaysia is organizing a lot of activities. And in fact, tomorrow we'll be hosting one art expo in One Layala, which we are bringing together 5 Filipino artists and 5 Malaysian artists in a collaboration to showcase the art. At the same time, there'll be one Dennis Bato and Malaysian artist called Shabandi, which will be creating a combined art piece, which we hope to display tomorrow. So these are some of the activities we are doing. Of course, we've been active in developing the trade and investment portfolio here in the Philippines. A lot of Malaysian companies are now coming to the Philippines because they see there's tremendous opportunities here. And of course, this is due to the fact that the both leaders, President Bongbong Marcos and of course Prime Minister of Malaysia, visited each other last year in March and July. And I think through that meeting, of course, the close relationship, this has now grown into the private sector itself, which they see how they can develop this portfolio. Last year, we had almost 6 billion worth of USD trade balance. This year, we hope to increase it double if you can.
Wow.
We have recently we have had Farm Fresh, which is a Malaysian
Brand?
milk company. Yes.
Oh,
So
that's
they've
Malaysian.
Malaysian, yes, one of the
Right, I
largest
can
in
see
Asia.
it, yeah.
So they've developed their processing plant already in Batangas. They hope to have a dairy farm very soon in, hopefully in Los Banos. We are working on that. You also have Maybank Philippines, who's been here for many years. They recently opened the first ever Islamic unit, banking unit in Zamboanga. Of course, this will propel the halal industry, which is being championed by, of course, Secretary Roque and, of course, the team in hoping to make Philippines as one of the halal hubs in Asia. Of course, in partnership with Malaysia, because Malaysia is one of the, I would say, the top country when it comes to halal in Philippines. So this has been going on. We also are working a lot on agri-food products and development. There's some Malaysian companies already having plantations in Philippines, in fact in Luzon, in Batarasa, for instance, also in Mindanao. Another area is equally important is on the area of digitalization. 2 months ago, we through MDEC, our Malaysian Digital Economic Corporation, we did a symposium with local Philippine digital entrepreneurs, and I think they had 25 from each country, and they had a B2B meeting, and I think out of that we had MOU signing for almost 25 million USD, and these are SMEs. And we're also looking at other areas of interest, for instance, on renewables and then of course solar. Last week we had a Malaysian company working with PNOC, a Philippine national company, which are developing roof solar panels in Kota Batu and Davao, and of course one in Luzon, hoping to develop almost 50 megawatts of power in the next 2 or 3 years to support the renewable industry here. The other area of interest, of course, education. We've been working closely with many of the schools and of course universities here, UP Diliman, MSU. In fact, next week I'm going to Marawi for the founding anniversary of MSU, because Mindanao is one of our focus also in terms of trying to develop the socio-economic activities of Philippines. So there's a lot of work being done, of course, in the many other areas. Tourism, for instance, we, through of course Secretary Frasco and of course through my team here in the embassy in Malaysia, we hope to have a greater sense of connectivity. We're looking at how to increase flights from each other, how to share resources, for instance, and training and development. One area is of course the halal tourism, which Secretary Frasco and the team has been expounding through. Of course, you said Myra is one of the key proponents of that, where we can develop halal-friendly tourism portfolios here, which you can then attract a large number of Muslim travelers, which is a large chunk of what we do in Malaysia and of course the other Muslim countries. So there's an opportunity there for that. Halal-friendly hotels. In fact, next week we are going to Boracay to launch the first ever halal-friendly beach. Again, this to encourage. Yes,
what is a halal-friendly beach?
This is which what it means that women can be able to enjoy the beach without, in a more, I would say, safe and of course open environment. So this is done in many other Muslim countries, So it allows also for women to be free and do and feel secure, I myself will not be able to enter, but I'll be there to see how they launch it, which is good. This came about because countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, and of course Brunei, of course the last time we were there, we had discussions with some of the players there, and of course the mayor very readily agreed to in order to develop the halal tourism industry there. Like I said, GCC countries is one of the biggest tourism potential markets, growing market in the world. So we can tap into that, especially Philippines. So these are some of the areas we are looking at. And of course, I mustn't forget the other Malaysian companies that are already operating here. For instance, we have Zeus Coffee. If you take coffee, there's a Malaysian.
A lot of those branches.
Zeus Coffee. We have Kasem here. MTD is of course the company that developed Clark. They're doing well there, and of course they hope to do more in Kota Batu and of course in Mindanao. Of course, Kasem also is the other one. So the many of these institutions now, they're interested. You know why? Because I think Philippines is now creating this base and this policy of making Philippines more open to investments. And I think that's incredible. I think it's because of the leadership of the current president, of course, of the DTI and many other government agencies. And of course, the ease of doing business has also
Yes.
been improved, of course, with 𝐼𝐸 and of course with the ICT pushing towards digitalization. So, businesses around the world are more confident to come, which is good, I think, because looking at Philippines' growth prospect the next 5 to 10 years, it's really, really promising because you have a huge population, you have huge resources, of course, talent. People, I would say, according to statistics, 60 or 70% of Philippine population is below 30 or 40 or 30, which is a young population, no?
Yes.
So that will support the growth. And of course, like I said, it's a landfill of opportunity. So I think Philippines is poised to grow. Your growth rate for this year alone is supposed to touch between 5.5 to 6, and this is incredible. I think the largest growth sector for Philippines. So I think all this combined together with the current condition, which is very promising, stable, will bring in about more investment. And Malaysia will be a part of it to support Philippines in moving forward in this area.
You have a long list of goals this year.
But I have a good team. So and also I also must thank the agencies here with all the many secretaries and 𝐸 and of course the many private sector partners that contribute to this relationship. San Miguel, for instance, are very close to us. A few, I mean, many of them. So I cannot name just one. All of them, I think, are invested in ensuring Philippines continues to grow. And of course, like I said, Malaysian firms are very happy to be here. They've been here for some time. Some of them have been here more than 40 years. So that shows that the Philippines has the potential to grow. And I'm confident, Philippines will.
And we are so excited to see that journey out with you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ambassador Malik.
See you again soon.
I'll see you again.